The next problem is to find the first non-repeating element in a stream of input characters. What does that mean? Per calc example, this is the input stream, but this input stream is not given as a string at the same time. We will be given character by character, and for every character we need to find whether it is what is the first non-repeating element. So first we will be given A. As there are no other elements in the first one will be A, first non-repeating element, and again we were given A, but what? A is already there, and again we got A, that means A got repeated. And any other element in the string? No, there is no other element as of now. So there is no non-repeating element, that will be -1. And next we will be given B. So this will be the first non-repeating element among this A and B. And then C, do we have any other non-repeating element till that point? Yes, we have B. So the first non-repeating element is B, not the C. So this is the output we need. How we will solve that? First thing, whether it is repeated or not repeated, that means we have to maintain, and we need to keep track of those particular characters, whether they are whether they are repeated or not. So definitely we need a dictionary there. And one more thing, we need to keep track of the first non-repeating element as well. So with one single data structure, I don't think it will be possible. We need two data structures to maintain to keep track of the non-repeating elements and also the first non-repeating elements. So here my idea would be, I'll have a hash table where I'll save the elements one by one and mark them whether they are repeated or not repeated. So initially this will be A. Is it repeated? No. So it's not repeated yet. Next again we got A. So it is repeated. I'll mark this as true. The true in the sense it is repeated. The third time we see A, we see here it is a true or false. If it is true, we will just ignore it. We don't even consider it because it is already repeated. That means it occurred already twice before this occurrence. That means what I mean is A, C. For suppose we have this one. Initially for first A it will be false, for the second A it will be true, for third A we don't even consider it because the value is true. That means A is already a repeated character and we don't even have to count this A or compare anywhere else. You just ignore it. For that purpose I am just maintaining a boolean value true or false in the dictionary. And the other one, so this is the one, so when if we come back to this example, and now B, is it repeated? No, it's false. And then C, yes, is it repeated? No, it's false. But this is also not repeated, this is also not repeated. So what we need to get? We should get B first because B is the first non-repeating element. So to keep track of the first non-repeating element also we need to have keep track of that a list. So A initially will be A, but as it became true, you just have to remove that particular thing. And then B, it's still false, and then C, but when you see the order, still the first non-repeating element is B. For suppose after that we got a D and D here. This is a false. Still we'll have a D here. And now we got a B. So B will become a true. When it became true, you will just go and see, you will just remove that from the list because it is no more a non-repeating element. Now then the first non-repeating element would be C. So this is how we keep tracking, how we are keeping the track of the first non-repeating elements in a list, and as well as a dictionary to keep track of whether it is repeated or not repeated. So this is my approach. I'll code this out now. So what do we name our method? Find first non-repeating character. So the all the method signature public, we don't return anything, so that is a void, and find first non-repeating. It's okay if we have a long method name, but this should be readable. So, and we'll be getting a string here. Though we are getting an input string here, we can read a character by character. So what are all we need? Two we need to have. One is a dictionary and another is a list. Dictionary of character and bool. So I'm naming it as check duplicate. And we'll have another list of characters, and list I name it as list of characters. Okay, now we will start from character by character. For that we need a for loop. That text dot length. Now what are all the checks we need to do? Whether the dictionary contains the character or not. If it contains, what? If it doesn't contain, what? So the first one, what if it contains? So check duplicate dot contains key. The key is text of I. Now is it a true, is it a false? If it is a false, and then we make it as a true and remove that from the list, right? So and if it is a true, we just ignore, we don't do anything. That is what we discussed. So make it as false. And you just remove. What if it doesn't have? You will mark it as false and add, right? So you just add to that dictionary with a value false, because this is the first occurrence, and add that to list. So if list, so list dot count greater than 0, you just write that the very first value, because the first, it maintains a list, and the very first non-repeating character will always lies on the index 0 of the list. This is just else. what we do? We print -1. Okay, so that's it.